Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode, we'll talk about herbs. I'll show you my herbs. I'll show you how they look like, how to grow them, and how to use them. So if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel for more of this kind of content. Welcome. Our first herb is parsley. Parsley is in the family of coriander, and it's a very spicy herb. It's mainly used in soups and stews and garnishes. You can use it to garnish. You can even make a green tea with it. You can spice your tea with it. We have two types of parsley. There is the flat leaf parsley, which we have here, and there is also a curly leaf parsley. This is how parsley looks like. It's totally different from coriander. Many people confuse this with coriander, but this is not coriander. Coriander is a short-term growing herb, grows for a short time and dies, but parsley is a perennial. It can be here for over a year also. The next herb is thyme. There are so many types of thyme, but what we have, this thyme is the ordinary thyme. It smells so nice. Probably some of my best smelling herb this is one of them. So this is good for roasts, white meat, chicken, soups. You can also make tea with thyme. It's good in helping with the coughs. If you have a cough, if you have a cold, you can always make some tea with thyme and honey, and that will help with the opening up the airways. Yeah, that's thyme. How you grow thyme? You grow it from sprigs. You can split these ones and start them in small containers. That's how you propagate thyme. And this is chives. We have two different types of chives. There's one that has a flat leaf, like this one, and there's the other one which has a slim leaf. Chive has a mild oniony flavor, and it's mostly used in garnishes. I personally use it in garnishes. Mashed potatoes, roast chicken, and rice. Yeah, I also you can sprinkle it on your rice when it's cooked as a garnish. You can also add it to salads. Yeah. Next herb is gold thyme. What we had there was ordinary thyme. You can spot the difference. This is ordinary thyme. This is gold thyme. It's also, it has a very nice smell, and it's used for roasts, very good for roast, and pan-fried potatoes. You can add it to your soups. I usually add it to my bone broth, pumpkin soups, and you can actually use it as a garnish for your roast potatoes, for your rice, and also for your mashed potatoes. This kind of thyme is also used for teas. Very good. It smells so nice, so it's very good for the aroma. It has a lemony aroma, so you can add it to your green tea, to your lemon tea, to your ginger tea. It helps a lot with the relaxing. Yeah, that's thyme, gold thyme. Next we have this is fennel. Fennel is it's not a perennial herb, but you can use this. The whole of this plant is edible. The leaves, it grows and produces seed. That the seed is also edible. You can use the seed to make tea, and it has a lot of benefits. Relaxing the mind, helping breastfeeding mothers with the milk and lactation. And it's also, the leaves are very good for flatulence and gas, and also helps in sleeping. If you can't sleep, you're struggling to sleep, you can infuse the leaves in hot water and take that tea. It helps you to calm down and sleep well. This is basil, probably the most common herb in this garden. Basil is good for tomato salad. Basil and tomatoes is one of the perfect matches. So we use basil for our tomato salads. We use it for soups and stews. We use basil for pasta sauces, and even when we make our tomato sauces and our ketchup, we always make sure we spice it with basil. This one has gone to seed, and we are letting these ones dry. Yeah. So this next container had basil. This basil is dead now. This is how basil seeds look like when they are drying. So you let them dry completely so that you can save these seeds. And in this container we also have chives, the slim leaf chives, also used for garnishing. Whatever is starting over here, this is lemongrass, very good for tea. It's just, we just started a new one, so it's still very young, but it's very good for tea and also roast chicken. You can use it even in your chutneys and your sauces if you like, but I mostly like it for tea, for my black tea and spicing my kombucha. Next we have oregano. There are so many types of oregano, but this is the one that is currently growing in our garden. The way to grow oregano is by splits. You just come here and find one that has roots. Like this one, you pull it out and that will start another plant. But oregano is mostly used in, I use it in soups and stews and sauces. And you can also use it for tea. You can add it in your herbal teas and you can infuse it with hot water and take it. It's very good for your digestion. It helps with the digestion of food in the stomach. Next we have our mints. We have, this is Pear Mint. Mostly mint is good for juices. That's how I use my mint, but you can also use mint for sauces. Mint paired with the lamb sauce, and you can also pair it with the chicken soup, but I always like mine for juice and cocktails. My favorite for cocktails. This is pear mint, chocolate mint. You can also use this one for cakes. You can make flavor out of it and use it for cakes. The other way you can use mint, you can boil some mint with some cinnamon, and that helps with the smells in the house. When it's boiling, the aroma keeps the house very fresh. So you can use mint for those two purposes. You can also add mint to your water. Just infuse some mint in drinking water. It gives the water some nice aroma, some nice taste, and also helps in digestion. Next is apple mint. Same uses as the other mint, just that it has a different, smells more like milder than compared to this one. This is a bit strong, and this is quite mild compared to that one. Just use it for the same purposes. Next we have some dill. This is dill. These are chives. We just talked about chives. Mostly I use this for garnishes, and this is dill. Dill is one of my favorite herbs to pair with fish. It's very good when you're making fish. It goes very well with fish. But you can also let dill go to seed and use the dill seeds for tea. It's very relaxing, and if you take tea with dill and ginger, it helps with the migraines. It's good for migraines. We also have some more basil over there. And our next herb, that's leek. Leek can be both vegetable, both a herb, but it's mostly used in soups. I like it in my bone soups and my samosas. That's how I use my leek. And our next herb is coriander. This is our coriander. It's now dying. We've used it for so long. Dania, coriander, I think it's common in most households and most markets. You will find coriander for garnishing, for adding to your stews, for adding to your soups. Coriander is a versatile herb. You can let it go to seed, and also the seeds are edible. You can grind them and add them as a spice to your food. This one is rosemary. There's some construction going on here, and happened that they threw a lot of cement on it. But rosemary is a very versatile herb, both for, you can use this for roasts, for soups, and for tea. And my favorite way to use rosemary is, of course, in tea. I add it in my green tea, my white tea. Always rosemary goes with most kinds of tea. Yeah. It's also very good for your memory. If you're losing memory or you're struggling to remember things, rosemary is the herb to use for that. Is this one? This is Artemisia. You had the famous COVID organics from Madagascar, this herb was one of the herbs they used, and it's very good with stomach ailments. It's been used for ages with malaria. Haven't used this for culinary purposes, purely for mostly medicinal purposes. When you have a stomach upset, you can boil the leaves and drink them, and that helps to calm down the stomach. Here, whatever is covered here, the construction has messed up a bit, but you can still see the herbs. This is lavender. I use my lavender for tea. I use this for tea, and I also use it I add it to my flowers. When I buy a bouquet of flowers, I take a few sprigs when it's a bit taller, and it keeps the house fresh. You can also boil it, and it will also freshen the house. And next we have lemon balm. Is in the family of mint, but it's quite spicy. It has a lemony taste, and I usually use it for my cocktails. And you can also make a lemon balm syrup, which is very good for colds and blockages. If you're blocking, if you have a cold, this is a good herb for that purpose. Next is tarragon. Tarragon, it's a mild herb. I pair this one with mushrooms. It's best for toasted mushrooms and mushroom soups. This is my go-to herb when I'm making mushrooms. Yeah, the next herb is this one. Just started a new plant. It's just the only one we have. It's lemon verbena. It's usually for tea. It has a very nice lemon smell, and I use it for tea. I add it to my green tea, I add it to my black tea, and I also take it with my other herbal infusions. Yeah, the next herb is there. This is chamomile. Use the flowers for tea. This is very calming and very soothing. You can also make a skin balm from it because it soothes skin, helps with eczema, helps with irritated skin and other skin ailments. But I use the flowers for tea. It's very calming. Best to take just before sleep because it helps you sleep very, very well. This is turmeric. We harvest the roots from the container down there, and the turmeric is very good for inflammation, for coughs, for colds, and any kind of irritation in the respiratory system. Turmeric is very good. It also helps with the stomach. It calms down the stomach, and it's very, very good for you to use for your digestion and for your inflammation, to help bring down inflammation. So this one is now, when the leaves start drying up like this, you realize that they are roots. It has formed they are actually not roots, they are rhizomes. That's when you start harvesting. When it starts drying, it's a sign that it's ready. There is something to harvest. This is more basil. The next herb is there. This is sage. Sage has so many uses, and the way I personally use it is for soups and tea. I add it to my bone soup, and I add it to my tea. People have so many other uses. I've heard of smudging. I don't know even what that is. But you can also burn sage. If you're lighting a jiko, you can put sage in that jiko, and it helps chase away mosquitoes. You can also put it in your outside grill. If you are grilling from outside and it's at night, it helps keep off the mosquitoes. This is another variety of lavender, and I just use it the same way I use the other lavender. I use it for tea and for freshening up my house. I just take the sprigs and add them to my flowers, or boil them with cinnamon and orange peels, and it helps keep the house fresh. Yeah. And the other one is celery. Celery is both a vegetable and a herb, and the way I use celery is purely on my juicing. I don't like the taste of celery when it's cooked, so I use it for juices. I juice. You can check my video on juicing. I'll link it below, and it will show you how I juice my celery. This one is a bit old, but it's still functional, still producing the stalks which we use for juicing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Consider subscribing to this channel. See you in the next one, and always remember, if you have a vision, add some passion. Goodbye.